Hi guys, Office Boy Builder here. Welcome back to the channel. Got something a bit different for you. I'm out in the field. I'm out on a walk and I'm actually going to go and visit a good friend of mine, Ben, who I helped build his loft conversion. If you haven't seen that, I will post that up here hopefully. I've been helping him look at, figure out, configure and plan an outbuilding that he's going to be making out of timber frame. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of that today and talk about what he's done and why.
Hey.
Hello.
Anyway, come and have a look where we're at.
So first things first, I just want to have a quick, obviously we're going to be having a look at that, but I'm just going to have a quick spin around because that is the loft conversion that we did. And we'll be jumping up into that in a separate video, but that's that. And then, so this is what you've been building. So talk us through the project.
Yeah, so when we moved in, we've been here 10 years, we had a derelict garage here.
Yeah.
Just a concrete sided thing which was just falling to bits.
Yeah.
I mean, it was derelict from the day we moved in, and all of this was hard standing, and it was weeds growing through it and all that kind of stuff. There was a fence on the back that was falling to bits and kept getting, broken down when it was windy and all that kind of stuff. And there was a shed here. That shed, which is up there, was here. That one there, that's actually half the size it was because I cut the back off it to fit it over there.
So you've got footage of you doing this, but that's deep, right? So you did all of this block work yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then when the brickie came to do
Well,
the front
I got a
walls,
quote from the brickie because he was going to do the front wall
Yeah.
and do a quote for this, and he was just so busy he couldn't fit it in. So we ended up I wanted him to do the front wall because I needed it to look nice.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd never done brickwork before, and I thought, okay, well,
I'll
give it a go. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
I'm going to paint it afterwards or something. It's not going to be seen. So I did it all myself, and I ordered all the concrete for the foundations, the strip foundations, which are, they're deep and they're wide as well.
I mean, and that's what you said, 5 meters by 7.
Yeah.
And then half a meter deep.
Yeah.
Jeez,
And I'll send you footage and photos of it all if you want. But
so that's 14 or 15 cubic meters.
yeah, and I didn't want to pay a ready mix to come and do it because I didn't know how long it was going to, I didn't work out the quantity, and then we'd have to get another lorry to come and do another mixer to come and do the slab later, and I didn't want to pay twice.
Yeah.
So I mixed it. I decided to mix it myself, and I ordered it all from Selco. And I did the quantity calculator, and I was like, that can't be right. That sounds like a lot of gravel, a lot of sand. I was like, that can't be right. And I ordered it all, and it arrived. And Selco changed their policy, and they wouldn't drive it down this alleyway here. They wouldn't go off the street, so they literally just dumped it at the curbside, with 3 doors down from the road, and I had to barrow it all down and shovel it in. And I got Noah, who was, at the time, he was 5 years old. He's just turned 6 now. Yeah. And he was shoveling it in. Mate. And it took ages. It was backbreaking.
You've done the best part of 20 cubic meters worth, if not more actually, because you've also got your, strips of foundation as well as the concrete. So you did the concrete slab as well?
No, I got the same guys who did the printed driveway.
Fine.
To pour that,
okay,
which was really inexpensive because they weren't finishing it. It was just
I was going to say,
just pour the slab.
Dead flat.
Yeah, no, they did that, and
then they just troweled it off, or
they floated it, and then troweled the edge, and then they did the approach as well. I dug all that out and prepped all the approach and put the edge in on the approach so that it was ready for them to just pour straight into it. And they did that in a couple of hours, and it was great. They did a really good job. I got footage of that as well. If you want that.
Yeah, mate. Send it. Whatever you've got. Let's see some. Because I think it's nice to do a review, and we're only partway through. But
I mean, you can see like the whole before and after. I've got all of the photos because it was an absolute wreck of a site before we started. And now it's a really usable space because we were like, we put a fence in here just to screen it off when we moved in. About 6 months after we moved in, we put a fence here. And that's where the old base was for the shed. Was there. And we just did that to hide it because it was so bad. And then we thought, okay, do we bite the bullet and do something with it? Or do we turn it into a longer garden? Or do we put a usable space down here? And, this was what we went with.
And by doing it all DIY, you'll have saved yourself 10 grand probably
Easily, yeah.
in labour costs.
Easily. And I've spread it across
Long enough.
long enough, year and a half so far.
Yeah.
From clearing it to where it is now.
Yeah.
And the inside and finishing the outside isn't time critical now.
Yeah.
I've got 6 months or so to get all the outside finished, and then the inside I'll probably have it insulated before the winter.
Yeah.
And then I still haven't decided how I'm going to finish the inside.
Yeah. But you could easily fit a car in there. You've got motorbike space.
Yeah.
You've got workshop space.
Yeah.
You've got all sorts of options.
Yeah, pool table,
Pool table. That's right.
beer fridge.
Mate, dig half of that out and put a swimming pool in there. Sink a swimming pool in there.
God, can you imagine digging that out? Oh,
No chance.
yeah. And then, when was it? Last year, we demoed all of this, and we carted it away 2 truckloads of muck and rubble, and levelled it and did all the block work last year. Yeah. All the strip foundations, block work, all of that.
So did you do trench foundation, block work, and then also do a reinforced concrete pad on top?
Yeah, so what we did up to the block work and the sub base, and then we paused there last October.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we'll put a lid on it for the winter, come back in the spring, and did the sub base properly, membrane, reinforce and insulate. We managed to dump in a little bit of insulation in the under the slab, and then poured that in March, early April, maybe something like that. And then it's been a case of doing this over the summer, and now that it's raining, we've got the roof on. Yeah. So it's all been perfect timing this summer, which has been really good. And then the rest will be to follow. It's not sort of super critical now. The doors are arriving today, and then the garage door, we've got a big opening on the back. Yeah. Because we're not going to use this for a car, but we wanted to have it ready in case we want to sell at any point, that you could get a car. There's an access road here, and then this fence will come down, and this will be the boundary.
Got it. So you've got a nice camber.
Yeah.
Here, so you can get in.
Yeah. Because this falls away going down the street, and so it's a little bit more of a slope on this side, and then it levels up. But this will come down. We'll reuse these panels down the side. Nice. Yeah. Excellent.
And so up here, I think you said you were going for a roller shutter.
Yeah, that's right. So we took out one of these just to allow room for the box, and then I'll probably bring another one up to it just to finish. Yeah. But we had to pull one down, which is fine. These are massive because we've got a 9x3. We've got a 4.7 metre span. And I didn't want to put any steel in it. I've got a flitch plate in here.
Okay. Yeah, I can see the bolts.
Yeah.
You can see the.
And then I've just over boarded that just so they've got a flat surface to mount the box to for the roller.
Yes.
And then that's coming next Friday. And then I've just boarded this out so that's where the panel's going to go. So I thought I'd just get that in so it's all ready to go. Nice. And then we'll put a few spur in there when we do the electrics.
And obviously you're going to do a little bit of expanding foam up in there.
Yeah, I can actually still take this off. We've got another inch in there to fill, and then I'll put a bit more in there.
And did you look at a vapor barrier? Did you do like any sort of plastic for
on the inside?
Yeah, on the inside.
Yeah, we'll do that once we've done the nice. PIR. Yeah. Haven't decided whether I want to do PIR or rock wool. Just for cost and ease, putting it in,
Yeah, and speed as well.
Yeah.
Mess the whole lot.
Yeah.
And obviously
it's going and this amount of space as well. I mean, this is 5 by 7 meters, so it's right on the limit of what you can do on permitted development. Yeah. And it's got a big deep ceiling as well because of these big joists. So it's going to be 100 mil in here, and we've got loads of room for ventilation.
Yes, tons of space.
Coming this way.
Well, I mean, you 100 mil, you're going to use that, right?
Yeah.
You've got
so I'm probably going to push it up so that I can put the lights in
underneath. Very nice.
Underneath.
Very nice.
And then
you've got 2 rows of noggins in the ceiling. You can see your fairings come down through here. So you've got your slope going that way. Yeah. Are you harvesting the rainwater? Are you going to do a gutter and a?
Well, I've just done a downpipe at the moment. I put that on last week. Yeah. Which was fortunate. Yeah. And then I'll finish this however we want to do this. I might do some kind of drainage or shingle or something over here, don't really know.
But there's no planning requirement. Often in South London where we are, you've got to put because it's clay.
Yeah, we don't need a soak away or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Which is ironic, given that it's clay and
Yeah.
it doesn't soak away anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. And this, yeah, look, this is a proper chroma stuff. That's good.
Yeah, but the insulation, because of the size of it, is going to cost me about 1,100 quid, and that's doing it from seconds or something.
Yeah, those are the guys that I've used a lot.
So I'm just wondering whether I just rock all the walls and PIR the roof.
No, it looks brilliant, mate. You've done a really nice job. And so talk us through what we've done here, because when we were speaking on the phone, we were talking about either doing it at 400 centres, or maybe doing what they do in America, which is at 450 centres to try and reduce waste.
Yeah.
What did you go for?
We went for 450.
Okay, so you're 450 on centre.
450, yeah, give or take.
Give or take, yeah.
I mean, for me, it's a bit of a, you win some, you lose some, because it's going to be great for getting the insulation in, because every 3 bays is 1 sheet of PIR. So there's very little waste on that, which is good considering the price of it. You get a little bit more waste. I mean, on this side, we were really close on the cladding on the outside that we could do 2 sheets of OSB, and it was pretty. We were taking off like 10 mil, so there was hardly any waste on this side. This one with the windows was a little bit more waste, obviously, but it's fine. And then, plasterboard might have a bit more wastage. So you win on some fronts and you lose on others. So
mate, you've done
I think it works.
Such a nice job on this framing. I mean, because you've done all of this yourself, right? And
Yeah.
This is just DIY. I think you borrowed my nail gun, right?
That's
And
it.
you just a chop saw.
I bought a chop saw. This one I got off Facebook. It's an Erbauer, and
Erbauer are decent tools.
They're good. I've got loads of Erbauer stuff now because Screwfix is literally down the road.
It is really good, and it's cost effective.
Yeah.
And it is decent quality.
And I got this a third off from a guy round the corner who built a garden room. He'd done 1,000 cuts, and then I picked it up a third off, and it hasn't missed a beat.
And those look pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, these were great. I was just chopping so much stuff, and especially chopping the big
really
ones.
big
Yeah, and I picked these up for about 60 quid, I think, off Amazon or eBay or something like that. And they've been brilliant. They're, and you can. I'll probably turn it into a work table when I'm done with it in here. So.
God, the structural engineer has really, really gone to town on this, hasn't he? I mean, look at this. Look, doubled up in the middle there. So that's amazing. That is really nice. I love what you've done. King stud, jack stud, cripples. You've done a really very good job on that. Nice straight noggins. Really, really nice. How did you do your corners? Did you do California corners, or how did you?
No, I did a double. I did a double and a spacer, and then I put a bit of insulation in that one, and then just brought this one up to it. So this one's.
That's a double.
It's a triple. So it's one, and then there's a space.
Yeah.
That's noggined out and insulated, and then there's another one on the outside.
Yeah, really nice.
Just so you've got that mounting space for the plasterboard.
Yeah, for sure. And I can see here you've added this one.
Yeah, that's because I screwed up the measurement.
Oh, fine. Okay.
So so I just added that one on the inside to make it the same as that. I just mismeasured.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that, mate. I had to literally take stuff apart on mine to re-put it back in. And that's the beauty about timber frame. You've got that flexibility to be able to take stuff out, add stuff in, block stuff out. That's really good. And what are these? How thick are these ones? Are they cut down? Are those 5x2s?
It's a 5x2, and I think I took that's a 5x2. I took a little bit off the ones over here. That sits an inch higher.
Oh yes, yeah, I can see that up there.
But yeah, that's just a 5x2, and then it's insulated. I've got a 1 inch, because these are 5 across, so I've got a 1 inch batten in there and a little bit of insulation just to pack it out.
Okay, so you got
just so it's all nice and square.
Yeah, lovely. Very nice. And so you have not needed to get any sort of planning permission on this. You've not had to do, because you're under the height, right?
We're under the height. We're right on the height, and we're right on the square foot, and there's no water or drainage or anything like that.
Electric,
so it's not a livable space.
Yeah.
So
have you run electric? Have you?
Not yet.
I can see.
But we will
do. Drum there.
Oh yeah, I'm just using that to get around the place. But that'll be the next job, is to do all the electric. We're gonna run a cable down this side of the garden.
Right.
And in here.
A wide armoured cable.
Yeah.
And have it a separate consumer unit. Presumably
Probably.
you're
Well, we
running
had
off-
an extra one put in for the loft, so I'm going to talk to those guys and
No,
see.
I meant having
Oh
a
yeah,
consuming
in
unit
here.
here.
In here we'll have a little one,
Yeah.
and then I just got to work out how many amps we're going to use and where I want the outlets and all that stuff.
So I just put ours. So ours runs off a steel wide armoured cable down the garden.
Buried.
That's buried in the ground. It comes up into a consumer unit, but I put it on a 40 amp
Yeah.
trip switch
Yeah.
in the thing.
Yeah. So I just got to work out where I'm putting my workbench and charging and all that kind of stuff, lighting.
Yeah.
If I want a radiator in here, we'll probably put a couple of external sockets as well.
Yeah.
And then the garage door just runs on a 13 amp.
Yeah.
Really easy peasy.
Plug and play.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, you might want a bit of heating. As much as the insulation value you're going to get from it, you may want a bit of heating as well. Not least just to help warm the air up. Not so much to warm you up, but just to take some of the chill out of it. Mate, you've done such a lovely job.
It's been super fun as well.
Yeah, it is fun.
So much
fun,
fun.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, you put the stud walls up and they go up quick. You know, you frame it up and then we did these 3 and lifted them in.
Right. Oh, okay. So you laid them, did them flat,
Yeah.
Canadian style.
Yeah. So I
And
did.
even with the window, you framed out the window.
That's when I changed my mind and I wasn't going to do it again because this one was heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that, and then I had the Lewis boys and Curtis round, and we lifted those in, and we just slung a couple of these on just to brace it, and then I built all of these ones in place, and I built this one. You know, you can see it's got the header running all the way across. I built that as one, and then I chopped out the bottom just so everything's square.
So you know it's square.
Yeah.
And I can see you've even gone to the effort of putting these up. Most people don't bother with that. They'll just drive a couple of nails at an angle. And
Yeah.
It's very nice.
And they're all twist screws and stuff, so
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
going to lift out or anything.
No, you've been really meticulous with the details.
It's your house. And I went, no, it's my house. They said, oh, we're going to ask you to do ours.
Mate, I had exactly the same thing. People saying, "Oh, are you a carpenter? Can you come and do mine?" Because
And the thing is, it's not complex. No. If you spend the time and I enjoy it, and I was watching your channel and other garden room builds and stuff. There's so much great material out there.
It's completely accessible.
Yeah. I mean, the hardest thing for me was actually taking the time to draw up the plans and calculate how much timber I needed. All that kind of stuff, because I really, I'm not a big fan of waste. I wanted to, minimize cost, so I didn't want to overorder and just have loads of stuff. And we've got a bit laying down there, but I'll turn it into shelves or racking or
a raised bed.
Exactly.
That would be a raised bed or a planter or something, or turn that into the subframe of a workbench.
Exactly.
You're going to have bench area.
Yeah.
Mate, you have almost no waste. I mean, that is a tiny amount.
And even these I kept from when we did the loft.
Yeah.
And they were just sitting down the side here, and I thought, well, they're 6 inches, so they were perfect to put in as their noggins.
Yeah. No, it's mate, you've done a great job. But you raise a really good point, right? So much of this actually comes down to the planning. Get the planning right. Spend the time in the preparation and the planning, and you genuinely do save yourself time and money in the long run, without having to worry about And I think that's a lot of the time where builders get it wrong. They turn up, they just Bosch stuff up, and they make assumptions, or they don't plan, and then suddenly, the clients go, well, that's not what I wanted, and there's cost and all the rest of it, and waste, and actually spending the time diligently going through planning in meticulous detail. Yeah. And you're quite handy. You're a graphic designer by background, so you're good with programs to be able to draw.
Yeah, I did it all to scale and all that stuff. Yeah. And then that window I put in last week was so annoying. Because this one I got second hand. This was a reclaimed one off eBay.
Nice.
Just to save the money.
Did you buy the window before you built the thing?
Yes.
So you knew, fine.
And then I framed to that size. And I was off by a little bit, but it's good enough.
It is,
And then I was putting the last beading in and I cracked the bloody glass.
Oh, mate.
So I've got another pane. And there was, 30 quid for another pane, so it's not a problem. But that one's in.
Nice.
Just to save another bit of money on getting a reclaimed window. Because you can,
Yeah, absolutely.
And then these ones.
But also, you've done two things there. You've saved yourself money and you've reduced waste.
Yeah.
Because that would have just gone to landfill or whatever. Or maybe someone else might have bought it and might have gone, it's not right, and chucked it in a skip.
Yeah. Whereas if you're framing up, then you've got the option to do that.
Absolutely.
which is great. These ones are a little bit more specific, obviously, just to allow a bit more working light in here.
Yeah.
So those ones, but these aren't opening.
Non-openers. Okay.
So they're super cheap.
Yeah.
They were like 130 quid each, which is nothing.
Yeah.
And those
Double glazed.
double glazed, so same as this, but
Yeah.
they're white on the outside, because what I'm doing, this is anthracite, and all the
Yes.
trim is anthracite. The French doors arriving today is anthracite, and then this is going to be probably larch clad
Oh, very
and
nice.
oiled, so it looks really nice.
Yeah.
That was the wife's only thing. She said, I don't care what you do on the inside as long as the outside looks pretty.
Yeah. How are you going to finish it around the corners? Are you going to put like a
We'll probably put a return on there.
put a return up?
Yeah. And then the other sides will be probably rendered.
Okay.
Um,
So you'll put a render carrier board.
we're going to put, we'll put carrier board on here, render, and then these will be white windows, just so they tie in a little nicer, and they're cheaper for the window rather than
Very nice.
a few extra quid, 30 quid or whatever it was extra for the anthracite.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that'll look really nice. Larch weathers really beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, let's jump up and have a look at this rubber roof.
Yep. But yeah.
3 points of contact. I'm the worst for that.
I mean, considering the rain last night, it's drained pretty well.
Really well. I mean, we've had significant rain.
Yeah.
Like you can see, I'm going to get closer to you so I can wait for the microphone. You can see we have had significant rain, and this is bone dry, near enough.
Yeah.
That has drained really well.
I think there's about 7 centimetre fall off, 7 or 8 centimetre fall off, because it's so wide.
So talk us through what you did, because I didn't do my own rubber roofing. So I'd love to know, tell us everything. What you bought, how big is it? Are there any joints?
Yeah.
How did you finish it around the edges and the corners?
So I ordered it all through Rubber for Roofs.
Oh, right. There's a website called Rubber for
Rubber
Roofs.
for Roofs, number 4.
Yeah.
They're ones, my cousin does a bit of that as well. So he recommended them, and you literally put in your dimensions and what you want on each edge, whether you want a curb, whether you want a gutter.
Got it.
And they do your whole kit.
Wow.
And then you've got two thicknesses. You've got a standard, I can't remember what it is, 1.1 mil, and then you've got a premium, which is 1 point something else.
Yeah.
And this is the thicker one.
This is 1.5.
1.5, there you go.
Yeah.
It's one piece. It weighed
One continuous
101 kilos.
100 kilos of rubber.
Yeah.
Wow.
So getting it up here was a pain in the butt.
I bet it was. Did they bring it on a forklift or something?
They just sent a Tufnells guy with a van,
Mate.
and he wheeled it down here on a little
dolly cart.
loader, and wheeled it in, and that was it. And then we did the rest.
Whoa.
But yeah, I mean, this is OSB.
18 mil?
18
or
18 mil OSB.
Yeah.
It's not tongue and groove, and I think I might have wanted to opt for that
Okay.
if I went back and did it again, just because you can see where the boards join
Yeah.
a little bit, just because it was out in the scorching summer,
Yeah.
and some of the edges sort of lifted a little bit, but it's fine.
Mate, it's really good. And we talked off camera, I think, about mushroom vents that you probably wouldn't want to retrofit them now. But actually, the design of your roof, mushroom vents would have meant you'd need one in every single thing because you didn't.
Yeah, so we'd need
cross-batten.
16,
You'd need 16.
and it would
which-
be ugly as well.
They'd be ugly, and they cost about 120 quid each, I think. Well, I was to supply and fit on my roof anyway. So this is nice as well. I like this trim.
Yeah, so it's all part of the same kit.
Yeah.
And basically, it's so easy to do. I mean, you do the rubber cement, which dries really quick in the heat, so you've got to work fast. So I was working at probably about this much at a time, rolling it out.
Left it as a roll, painted it on, and then rolled it down.
And then swept it down,
Yeah.
working from the centre out. So back half
Interesting.
first, and then this half.
Smart.
And then you leave the edge about this much at the edge,
Yeah.
and you do a contact adhesive on
Right.
both sides. You let that tack off, and then
Yeah.
that does the edges. And then this just cinches down. Literally, you just lay it over the same as you would a fascia.
Yeah.
They're all pre-drilled.
And does it attach to the fascia? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I see, fine.
And
So
it just goes straight through, and there's a foam strip under here,
Yeah.
which you push down a little bit to make it watertight, and then it's and it's been fine. You know, it's been on for 3 weeks, and we've had quite a lot of rain in that time.
Tons of rain.
I mean, last night was hammering it down.
We went from a drought to thunderstorms.
Yeah, I think the day the hosepipe ban came in, it started raining.
Yeah. God, that is really nice.
Yeah, and then these just clip on, and then you're just using mitre bonds where you need to.
Got it. Yeah.
And that's it. And it's it's really secure.
You know what? If you built a staircase, you could have a little deck, and this could be a barbecue area. It's enormous.
It's not the best view.
That's irrelevant. Get a little fire pit. Mate, that is really good. What you have achieved is on a par with professional people that you pay to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, and then on this edge you've got an extra batten on top of the soffit to step this curb out into the gutter. And then you've got a strip that goes underneath, then you lap the rubber over, and then this piece goes on, and it just allows that to
bonded.
So it's sort of sandwiched in there, and then the batten just sets it off to the gutter line.
And this isn't vented here. So typically on a sloped roof, this bit here would be vented, but yours is underneath the gutter, isn't it?
Yeah, underneath the. Because we've got quite deep deep fascias.
Yeah.
Because the joists are so deep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because of the span, but getting those 9x3s up was fun.
Mate,
single-handed.
I lost about 2 stone in weight when I built my place, just because of
sweating it off.
Just all day moving stuff, lifting, shifting, carrying, whatever. That's brilliant. Yeah, and look, I mean, all of your neighbours have nice big garages. This one you can see runs from there all the way up to there. So, that's fantastic. Oh, mate, that's brilliant.
No, really pleased.
So what's next? What are you building next? Is it a self-build? Timber frame self-build?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we did the driveway. We'll probably put a patio here.
Yeah.
Once we've done all this, and then the only thing left to do would be an extension on the kitchen. But for where we are right now, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Nice. Mate, that is brilliant. Well, look, thank you very much for letting us
come
around and have a look. Really appreciate you, reaching out and letting us come around and film it. And congratulations, you've done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
It is really very, very nice.
Yeah, and a lot of it is from watching your channel and seeing you guys work on the loft as well.
Yeah, we'll get
going,
up there.
it doesn't look hard. If Tom can do it,
if I can do it, anyone. Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. No, it's
good fun.
Yeah. Oh, nice one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.